And then over here we get 12. So then we want to divide by 4, and x is 3. Are we done? We want to substitute and find the y value. So we can use either equation this time. It doesn't matter which one. I'm going to choose to use the first one. So -2, and I'm going to substitute the 3 for the x. And what do I get when I substitute the 3 for that x? What does that give us? It gives us a -6 plus 3y is 0. What would we do next to solve that? Add 6, because we want to get that 3y by itself. So we get 3y equals 6, and then divide by 3. And we get y equals 2. So again, we want to write our answer as a point. So our point, remember, x comes first and then y. So it is 3, 2. And then I put the parentheses there because, why do I put the parentheses around there? You know, some of you are like, of course, why you have been asking this, but why did I put those parentheses, that parentheses in? Because that's my expectation, so we'll put that. So that's the notation for writing a point. We have a parentheses and then the number, the x value, and then the y value. So 2 like that shows you that it's a point. So this is the point where these two lines would cross if we graph them. So number 2, if we added them right away, would a variable eliminate? It wouldn't. So anybody have any idea what we might do? Did you say multiply? Oh, so we want to multiply by something. That's right. We're going to multiply by +3 or -3. So the reason where this comes from is we're looking at the numbers in front. So this is a 4 and this is a 12. So I want them to be opposite. This is a +12 and I want this to become -12. So what would I multiply this equation by? -3. So that way, when I multiply, I get a -12 here plus 12, and then I can cancel. So that's what I'm looking to do. If I looked at the y's, I want to look at the smaller one. The smaller one would be the -5y. Could I multiply easily to get 9? No, it'd have to be by a fraction. So that's why I chose the -3 on that.
Where did you divide 12 by -3?
So, yeah, I guess on that one you could have. Yeah, I didn't even see that. Notice that. So I like rewriting because it's so easy to make mistakes. So I just rewrite this first one, and then I'm going to multiply by -3 here. So what do I get when I multiply everything by -3 there, David?
Yeah, -12 x +15.
Good. And so now we're going to add them. And when we add them, what will we get when we add them? How? What will we get when we add these two equations? Will these cancel, the 12x and the -12x? Yeah, and that's what we want. And what about these two? What does that up to? Is it 6? Yeah, so 6y. And then over here we get a -6. And then what would you know, our next step would be? Good. Divide both sides by 6. And so we get y equals -1. And then we want to take that and substitute it into either equation. It doesn't matter which one. I'm going to choose the first one. So 12x minus 9 times -1 is equal to 9. And then finish that for us, please. Yeah.
9 and -1. Oh, +9.
Yep. And then what's my next? Good. So I get 12x is 0, and then what's my last step?
And then you divide 12.
Good. Oops. And I get x is 0, and so now I have my point, because I have my x and my y, so 0, -1 would be my point. So coming back to you. Needs a little more time to copy this. I'll give you more time. Did I go too fast? Sometimes I go too fast after teaching it a couple times, so let me know if I do. Okay. So this one here, again, we're looking at the coefficients. These numbers in front of the letters are coefficients. Can I multiply 6 by anything? That's the smaller of the two. 6 is smaller than 9. Can I multiply 6 by anything to get -9? No, I mean, it has to be a fraction. We don't want to deal with that. 3 is smaller than 12. What do I multiply 3 by to get 12? 4. So I'm going to multiply this one by 4. And why +4 on this one? Because it gives me a -12 here, and I want to be able to isolate, or excuse me, cancel. So multiplying by 4, go ahead and multiply by 4 for us. Francisco, can you multiply by 4 here?
36.
-36x.
Plus 48.
4 times. So we're taking just 4 times.
That's
okay.
I put 3 times 4. 12 times 4. It's 3 times 4. 12.
12. So minus 12y, and then that's equal to.
3 times 4. 32.
Yes. Good. Okay, so now we can add, because we have these two that are opposites, and when we add them on each, what do we get when we add them? These two equations, what do we get? Yes. And then what will we do next to solve? Yep. X is equal to -1. Good. So now we want to take that and substitute it into either equation. I'm just going to use the first one. So yesterday we were substituting it into the one that had the value isolated because it got us to what we wanted right away. Here we don't have anything isolated, so it doesn't matter which equation we substitute it into. So when I substitute the -1 in there, what do I get? Gianna. Good. Okay. And then what? Good. And then what do we get when we divide both sides by 12? Anybody? We get y equals 1/3. That number on the top is smaller than the number on the bottom, so it's 1/3. And so if I wanted to simplify it and I didn't know just by looking at it, I could look at what goes into both 4 and 12. The biggest number that goes into both of them is 4. So when I divide by 4, that's where I get the 1 here, and divide 12 by 4, and I get the 3. So now my solution as a point is negative 1, 1/3. Okay, number 4. What do we do on number 4? So we can't just multiply one equation by something, because it doesn't work. So anybody have any idea what we would do? Multiply both of them, that's right. So we can look at the x's or the y's. What should we do? Was it you, David, that said y's? Yes. So the y's was a good choice because I like that because they're smaller numbers. The 2 and the negative 2 and 5 are smaller than the 6 and the 5. But it doesn't matter. You can use either one. Doesn't matter. So we'd want to multiply this one by positive 5 and this one by positive 2. Again, we want to get numbers that are opposites so that we can add and eliminate. So go ahead and multiply through by 5 and by 2 for us. Hayden, can you do that for us?
The first one would be 30x minus 10y equals 50.
Yep.
And the second one would be negative 10x plus 10y equals 50.
Good. So notice again, the negative 10y and the positive 10y are opposites. So now we can add. So Emma, can you add those for us? 20x equals? Yes. Divide by 20. X is 5. And then we take it and substitute it into either equation. Let's use the first one. 6 times 5 minus 2y is 10. Olivia, what do we get? 6 times 5? What's 6 times 5? Good. So we have 30 minus 2y is 10. What would we do next to solve for y? What do we want to get this y by itself. So what do we do to get the y by itself? I'm going to do something with the 30. Add it or subtract it? Yes, we want to subtract it. That's right. So we get these cancel, which is what we want. Negative 2y is negative 20. And then what's our last step? What would our next step be? When we have a number next to a letter, what does it mean when we have a number and a letter next to each other? Are they adding, multiplying? That means multiplication. What undoes multiplication? What undoes the multiplication? Because we want to get that negative 2 out of there. So what do we want to do to both sides to get y by itself? So divide. So we get these cancel, and then we get y equals 10. So our solution is 5, 10. So how might we check to see that we did it right? What might we do to check to see if we did it right? You're taking a test and you want to know if your answer is right. Like right now you're doing it, and then I give you the answers on the answer key. But what would you do on a test to make sure you did it right? So you can take each of these and you substitute it into both equations. So I could substitute it in the first equation. 6 times 5 is 30, minus 2 times 10 is 20. 30 minus 20 is 10. And then same thing for this equation, and make sure that it gives you a true equation. Does that make sense? Okay, go ahead and do the next one. So you try, please.
Basically, it's like that one's always the same because we live in a chart. No, you just, if that one of the numbers can be right, just find another number and the other one. And then one has to be positive and has to be negative to cancel each other. Yeah, so it cancels them all. So like just no, positive 2 on the first one because you got -6. But how to I got open y equals 60. At least you let us use calculators on the test. That's how they do it in summer school. They let you use calculators. Because, well, duh, you got -13.
How do you see?
You did something wrong because you're supposed to add 4 plus 7.
Oh, wait, I'm plugging.
And then
Wait. I don't plug it in.
what's this guy's name? This guy is here. Is it Javier?
Oh, okay.
The fab. Let me fix them for you. For you. That's so strange. You're too fast. Why are they looking like you?
Should I? You do. Huh?
Just whatever. I swear. How's it?
It's a non-negative name. It's not a negative name. Where'd you get the negative name? It's not negative 52. Okay, so it's, what is it? The number's 42? Positive or negative?
So I heard it's nicer.
Okay, so you should get 6 negative 4 for your solution. Maybe somebody to pass out the worksheet, please? And then have your homework done, and I'll come around and check that off.
Wait, which one? Yeah, this one.
Okay, good.
I don't know how to do that. We always have to watch it behind
There's so many.
So I will be checking number 3 before you go. I want to know, make sure you understand it.
Number 3 on the homework?
Yes.
So what?
I forgot another S. S is probably the best that you could show.
Yeah, but just listen to music.
That's what.
Like, you don't know like there's just you don't know like
Should I do an easier one?
Miss Costello?
Yeah.